Want to transform your watercolors from blotchy and flat to vibrant and dimensional? Let's start with a simple but beautiful rose to learn the basics. Skill number 1, flat wash. I've prepared my pigment in the palette on the right. The idea is to go wet on dry and cover the entire flower in essentially one value. Notice also how I'm using a large brush. This allows me to work very quickly and is more likely to give me an even wash than if I were to use a small brush where I had to dip back into the paint many times. I am leaving the center of the flower blank because I want that part to be yellow. I'm done with the flat wash, and now I'm going to drop in a little bit more value to start to get a sense of the curve of the petals. To be ready for the yellow to blend in with the pink, I took a damp brush and softened the edges of the pink that I just laid down, so as I lay down this yellow, they'll start to blend nicely. Now I'm using Hansa Yellow Medium, quite diluted, also wet onto dry, to start the center of the flower. And if you notice, I didn't exactly paint within the lines, that the pink paint has bled across the edges of the petals. That's not going to matter when I go to put in the foliage later on. Now I'm dropping in some quinacridone pink on top of the yellow to try to make it orange. This is now wet into wet, which is skill number 3. While the paint is still wet, I'm continuing to adjust the color by adding yellow and pink as needed. The paper has dried, and I've mixed up additional quinacridone pink, a little darker value. This will make a darker pink when I brush it on. Watch how I paint this section of this petal. There's a shadow and there's a gradient in the shadow. So it looks like I'm doing a flat wash to start with, and really I am, but my plan is to lighten it. Now I'm softening that edge, and that will start to dilute the pigment on the paper. You can start to see a gradient form. It's still wet. I started wet on dry and now I'm working wet on wet. There you see I've dropped in a much darker value towards the center of the flower, and that's how I created the gradient, which is skill number 4. Another way to have created the gradient would have been to have started in this small area towards the center of the flower with a very dark value and then continue to lighten it as I get towards the edge, outer edge of the flower. Gradient washes can be a bit tricky, and so continuing on with the second layer, sometimes I'm using quinacridone pink by itself, and sometimes I'm using it with some Hansa yellow medium mixed into it to give the flower a little bit of glow. When you're working in these different shapes, especially on a flower, you'll be tempted to work on one petal, and then the petal next to it, and then the petal next to it. But the problem is that the drying of these petals, anywhere you're working on the paper, is uneven. And so what will happen is, unless you know exactly what effect you're going for, you run the risk of the next petal being wetter than the first and then getting a backwash into the previous one. So you really have to pay attention to the wetness of any section that's touching the current section you're working on. My recommendation is to skip areas and don't let your areas touch each other. So really, I shouldn't have done what I just showed you. I should have done a petal on the left, a petal on the right, and when those dried, then the bottom petal, and then an upper section. So just wanted to point that pitfall out to you. As I'm working my way around the flower, you should be able to see that I'm repeating the same process. I do a flat wash, I soften the edge. I do a flat wash, I soften an edge, and I add in deeper value. By doing that over and over, you're just using the same skills over and over. So this is why these skills are so wonderful, that you don't need that many skills to have a very effective watercolor. After drawing the painting, I'm starting to work on some of the details in the center of the flower. Simply layering the pink on top of the yellow gives me an orange color. In the reference photo, you can see that the leaves in some places are pretty well defined, but I'm not going to do that. I want the background to be very soft so that the focus, the center of attention is completely on the rose. So I've laid down water on the area where the greens will go first, and I'm dropping in the various greens wet into wet. The greens I'm using are Serpentine Genuine, Undersea Green, and Shadow Green. And notice also I'm dropping in the Quinacridone pink as well, just to give a suggestion of other flowers that are in the background. And the other thing that that does is it makes sure that the colors in the flower are scattered around, painted all around the painting. To make the pistils and stamen darker, I'm simply dabbing on a little bit of Undersea Green. Here is the finished painting. My hope is that you try these techniques. Layering not only is very effective, it's a great way to lay down light colors when you're feeling timid, because after they dry, you can always add another layer. This is how I got good at layering, was just simply by being timid and finding out that it was a very nice way to ease my way into darker values. For more details on flat washes, check out this video.